This is Fieldsports Channel News. There's a warning this week that the lack of controlled heather burning on Britain's moorlands could lead to an environmental disaster this summer. Heather burning bans are in place across large swathes of British countryside. We'd normally be in the middle of the heather burning season. Land managers traditionally burn heather now to encourage new growth for birds and animals to graze on new shoots in the spring and create fire breaks. Ian Gregory, founder of the new political party Rural Reaction, says the burning bans could lead to an environmental catastrophe in the summer when plants on the moors dry out.
Anybody who's practical around the world knows that if vegetation grows rank, then eventually there's going to be a very bad fire. Anybody knows that who lives in the countryside. Those who are making the decisions in natural England don't know that. They instead think that it's a danger to the countryside if we do cool burns on this at this time of the year. And the much greater risk is going to come and bite the government. It might be this summer, it might be next summer, but at some stage there's going to be an almighty fire on peatland. The underground peat will catch fire, be very difficult to put out, and it will blow away Britain's climate targets because so many millions of tons of CO2 will be released from this peat. And we want to make sure that the government knows that we have told it at this stage that they are making tremendous long-term mistakes here.
Actor Stephen Fry has made a fresh appeal to stop British soldiers from wearing real bearskins. The distinctive bearskin caps have been worn by regiments in the British Army for more than 200 years and are still used by Guards regiments. They were first introduced to make it appear British soldiers were taller when they marched into battle. Each cap is carefully handcrafted and can last up to 80 years. Fry narrates a new video from the animal rights group PETA, which claims the practice of gathering the bearskins from animals legally hunted and killed in Canada is cruel. The Ministry of Defence says it has looked into alternative faux fur materials to make the caps, but none have managed to pass quality control tests. Atlantic salmon has been reclassified as endangered in some parts of the UK. The iconic fish has declined in some areas by as much as 50%, with the threat of worse to come. The classification is part of the International Union for Conservation of Nature's Red List of Threatened Species. The Atlantic Salmon Trust blames the decrease in population on factors including climate change, poor water quality, dams and barriers, and fish health issues caused by salmon farming.
In the freshwater environment that we know is really important, that's where we need cold water. We're seeing the increasing effects of a changing climate, changing weather patterns as well. We need to be working in our landscapes to give them that cold water. But we also need clean water, and that means water free from pollution, sewage, parasites and disease, whether that's in the freshwater or the marine zone.
Meanwhile, new figures from the Scottish Government claim that red grouse and kestrels are officially in decline. Nature Scot blames climate change for the drop in recorded numbers of several bird species. It says that hotter and wetter weather has caused species such as grouse to dwindle, while other species are thriving. Good news for willow warblers, they're up by 50%. The study covers figures from 1994 and says that there are 62 bird species with unstable numbers. Hunters in Australia fear they're about to be banned from hunting ducks. Politicians in the state of Victoria are holding a poll to ask if a ban on hunting ducks would be supported through the Australian Parliament. Outdoor Recreation Minister and Labour MP Steve Dimopoulos proposes the poll. A group of Labour MPs oppose it, including Sheena Watt, a supporter of traditional hunting practices in Australia. A search is underway for new organisers for the Irish Game Fair. A team led by Albert Titterington and Paul Pringle have organised 69 game fairs in Northern Ireland and the South. Both have been forced to retire due to ill health. They've cancelled the 2024 Shane's Castle event, which usually attracts around 20,000 visitors, and are looking for a new team to take over in 2025. The announcement drew praise for their work from Irish Game Fair supporters from all over the world. A hearing at the end of the month could decide if elephant trophies could be exported from South Africa to the USA once again. Export permits are on hold after a court case brought by Humane Society International in 2022 in South Africa. The temporary ban has paused hunting tourism by some American hunters, who can only import trophies into the States under license from the US Fish and Wildlife Service. South Africa faces an elephant population crisis, with the Kruger National Park alone estimated to have 4 times more elephants than it can sustain. The Welsh Government faces a legal challenge after it allegedly mismanaged claims about pollution from chicken farms entering the River Wye. Fish Legal has issued a legal complaint against Natural Resources Wales, claiming it failed to deliver on its statutory responsibility when investigating claims about pollution on the river. Fish Legal says the Welsh Environment Agency NRW ignored key data linked to pollution from farms discharging waste into the Wye. Fish Legal has given NRW until the end of January 2024 to respond. BASC has launched a new register for deer stalkers who have passed the DSC2. The scheme is designed to provide a database for stalkers who have taken a Deer Management Qualification or DMQ at DSC2 level or higher. The scheme excludes privately run qualifications such as the new Proficient Deer Stalking Certificate Level 2. You can apply to have your details on the first official register of its kind. BASC says it hopes landowners will use the facility to provide more opportunities for its members.
Increasingly landowners are finding it hard to find good deer stalkers. So the idea of the register is to provide that link between the two.
And finally, a new film shows how rural life and following hounds brought happiness to the late philosopher Sir Roger Scruton. The 90-minute film on YouTube is on the European Conservatives channel, and conservationist Charlie Pye-Smith, former director of the League Against Cruel Sports, Jim Barrington, and Roger's widow, Lady Sophie Scruton. Link below. Thanks to Richard Walton for the story. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.